Hello, everybody who's ready to be entertained in the dividend dive. I don't know what's that intro all about, but you weren't expecting it, were you? Hey, you kind of know what you're going to get, but you don't know what to expect. Just like, just like I ran downstairs and I'm out of breath. Maybe it's because I worked today. Who else worked today? Working for the weekend with Loverboy. Playing all the hits here on the Dapper Dividend Dive at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I guess I'm catching my breath. But hey, you guys are here. You got CBB Cave, Pat, Steve, John J. What's up, man? Alan, Greg. Hey, don't worry about the Bears, dude. I got Jameer Gibbs. He's pushed me to the precipice of another championship game here in the world of fantasy football. That's all we'll say about that. So um, yeah. Anyway, I see about. Oh, Alan, you got your pep ready for the stream. Yeah, I had to sell it. I had to do it. Very interesting comments in the last video. A lot of people, apparently, I didn't realize that Volkswagens were such a piece of crap, but a couple people said so. And you know what? I'll make something clear about that with those shares of PepsiCo. This was an account that, look, we maxed out the 401k, maxed out the Roth. We contribute, I'll just say it, we contribute $300 a month total, $150 a month to our kids' 529. We've done that for many, many, many years. We have an emergency fund that we contribute to, also a travel fund, and our kids' custodial accounts. That's 7 separate things we put money into. And then some money that we have above and beyond that, we aggregate in our taxable account. So it's like an excess funds account. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a weird thing, right? So we sold those shares, but it's not like I sold from a retirement account or something that's super important. But uh, I don't know. I don't know what you'd call it. But we are going to pay that back, $200 a week. And then I'm putting another 25. I think I was talking to Ron Pizer, who you may hear his name brought up on Dividend Talk podcast. He recommended for the next time we need to buy a car, just keep putting money into like SWVXX to just pay yourself and just forget about that. Like, just think that doesn't even exist. So I think I'm going to do that, turn the drip on, and that will be like a quasi savings account or something. So, but yeah, anyway, hey, that's what went on. So, and I know it's funny, right? I was watching Ian Lopic where he just said that he's buying J&J and PepsiCo, but I don't know his situation. You don't know his finances, but for us, we looked at the portfolio, and I know some people have said bad idea to sell J&J and PepsiCo and buy a car, but we needed another car. We don't want a piece of crap too, so we need something dependable. And cars lately, especially SUVs, people are always going to have families. They hold their resale value. We take care of our vehicles, and we park it. We have a heated garage that we park it inside of, so that will prolong its life a little bit more. But anyway, enough of car talk, right? I wanted to get to a comment here that was by CBB Cave. So, Kibaba Cave, you said, how do we feel about REITs with the Fed news? I think we saw a repricing, and that's why they got whacked, right? I know personally, I bought 26 shares of Vici Properties, ticker VIC. I wrote about them in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, it's in the description below, or you can just go to dapperdividends.com and sign up for it there. I put it out once a week. This one was a little bit long. I don't know, a little bit philosophical at the end. I reread it and should have just stopped it with Vici, but hey, you know what? We mean well around here. But honestly, the higher for longer rates, right, is going to make borrowing more expensive. REITs, real estate investment trusts, they live on borrowed money, right? They're either borrowing money. I can't say that today. They're either borrowing money or issuing shares to bring in more money and then invest that, and it grows the business, right? So it's the one time where shareholder dilution, I think, is acceptable. So yeah, the market didn't like it. And I did see Agree Realty was below 70. I got excited. Then it popped, it came back up. Realty Income is in the low 50s. I think I might start dripping some of the, so I hold Realty Income in a self-directed IRA, opened it up in March or April of 2020, right as things started going haywire. Took $30,000 out of, and we can look at what that's at now real quick. So I took $30,000. I'm going to have to share this tab here. I took $30,000 out of our retirement account, and it was a non-taxable event. So this has been a locked account. There hasn't been one single dollar to go into that. We've made some mistakes. We held some things like Microsoft, well, just over 200. I think I was looking for it to go below 200. And yeah, so let me bring up that one. So the locked one is the self-directed IRA, which is, you should be seeing this on the screen. Hold on. I want to change the view here, give you more real estate. So here we go. Work with me. Work with me. Current balance, 53,652. There's been no additional money added to this. It was $30,000. So that's kind of cool. In 4 years, it's grown, $23,000 as a annual income of 2,842, almost 6% yield on cost. But that is because this is too big. I know. Where's SCHD Stan, our friend Craig, friend of the show, talking about yield on cost porn and stuff. But what we have going on here is well, anyway, I don't know. It'll get too confusing. I know if you're just tuning in, you're seeing numbers all over the place. But here, let's see the biggest winners. ExxonMobil. I bought this right during the crash, the COVID sell-off. Currently 156.8% gain. I got a 9.61% yield on cost on that. So that's just silly. But anyway, so that account, that's the number I wanted, 53,000. We haven't put anything into it. And that's what I wanted to tell you, is that we have 3 monthly dividend payers in here. Agree Realty, where we're up 17%, and Realty Income, where we're down 11.2%. That's yuck. Our average cost is $59.46. And then Main Street Capital, where we're up 51%. So those are the 3 monthly payers. And I think I might just start picking up shares of Realty Income with those monthly dividends. So that was a long way to say that, yeah, man, the market doesn't like it. And the market is just repricing everything. So I'm assuming, Alan, you got your Pepsi. Again, you're drinking Pepsi, right? Steve, that's too nice. That's too nice, man. Thank you. James, you know what, man? It was an easy, not easy decision, if that makes any sense. I don't mean to slurp in your ear there, but I do love my tea. It gets me through the show. Who else worked today? That's right. Daddy was up and at it and out of the house at 6:30 a.m. in the cold on my way to a place that used to be called Nation Pizza. Look it up if you want. It's now owned by Nestle. Nestle acquired it, and they make DiGiorno pizzas amongst some other things. And it's an interesting place, man. Interesting place. 3 shifts, believe me. How can I say this nicely? Not the nicest people, because I've been there on some calls in the middle of the night. It's been a long time, but if you're making frozen pizzas at 2 o'clock in the morning, chances are you've made some bad decisions along the way, and yeah, or you're trying to work your way up. But anyway, let's see. Why would short-term interest rates affect REITs? Well, it's just all about the borrowing, and to me, it's like it's like running out the clock, right? So the rates. That's why when rates started cutting. And it's all dependent on when the when the interest is due, or how do you say that? When the loan is due, when they have to repay it back, right? Some of these, like I think Vici, who was I looking at? Agree Realty. I think they don't have anything due until 27 or 2028 maybe. Don't quote me on that, but either way, they it's a race against the clock, because if that's fixed and you don't have to refinance it until then. But when you have to refinance that debt, it would be at a higher rate. Again, I'm not, not a financial analyst. I didn't go to college, so this is all just my hobby. I love you for being here. So if you have anything to share, please do let me know if I'm off base here. But it's all about when the loans are due, when they have to pay it back, and a lot of times they refinance. They kick the can down the road, right? So what are the interest rates going to be when they have to refinance? And if it's higher for longer, then that's going to affect the profitability of the business if they have to pay more of their earnings or their profits to interest. So let's see. Whiskey Tango. Oh, that's right. Sometimes, all right, I'm going to get caught up here. Don't worry, Kevin, if you're watching, I'm not going to do a Kevin Burgess or Indiana Burgess, as I like to call him on the stream with his hat, which reminds me of Indiana Jones. But I don't want to say your name. You're anonymous. Yeah, nice. Yeah, mortgage REITs, not my sandbox. I don't really understand them. I've tried to, but yeah. And then yeah, and Steve, about that, I want to go into things with higher total return, but it does all depend where PepsiCo's at. If it's in the 130s or something, it's going to be really hard to ignore down there. So I'll yeah, I don't know. I may, but chances are it's going to be like what we bought this week, Nike, Visa, hopefully, if it would ever come down, and just more of a foundation with VTI. But all right, you know what? I'm not a car person. I let my wife handle the whole thing. She did a lot of research into it, but I, to me, and I say it, a car is a depreciating appliance that gets you from point A to point B. I really don't care, but this thing is nice. The VW Atlas. I like that, man. Yeah. But it's fun. I like putting it out there, and that's why I don't take comments too personally. Although it's a weird thing being on this side of the camera and creating content that when you say something you did and people are like, that's the stupidest thing ever. How could you do that? You know? Hey, part of it's like, well, maybe it could have been more optimal, but we felt it was the right thing for us. So, yeah, heated garage with the salt of a Michigan winter, corrosion on steroids. I don't know, man. The body on our 2011 Acadia has done pretty well. So it's worked so far for us. Yeah, interesting one, Frank. Prologis, ticker PLD. That is one that we have on the watch list. I have Prologis and Lincoln Electric, ticker LECO, on the watch list. Listen to both their earnings calls. I think they could have further down to go, further downside, but hey, baby, we'll see. We'll see. Prologis, the dividend yield. Why don't we look? And if you guys want to look up anything, we'll do the news in a minute, but oh yeah, here we go. Alan wants to look at, I'll take your order. What will you be having? You got to write it down. So Lennar for Alan, and then we'll, yeah. Right now, I like Vici better. I think Vici has a little bit better growth vector, but they're both kind of expanding out of their wheelhouse, right? When we see Realty Income going into data centers, they are going into, what is it? In Europe, they're trying to expand into Europe. So casinos, they're getting into gaming with that Win Encore in Boston Harbor. But yeah, and a lot of investors think they're getting out of their circle of competence, right? Same could be said for Vici. They are investing in boleros. They're investing in like health and wellness centers, like I think it's called Coyote Ranch or Coyote Canyon. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like a mental health and wellness center, resort type place. And then they're also they want to also get into like youth sports places. And yeah, that was Vici that's thinking about that. But so it's something to be said about both. And I guess we have to put our faith in the management teams that over at Realty Income, Sumit Roy, that him and his team know what they're doing. And also Ed Petoniak from Vici, that they're going to figure it out. So yeah, Lennar, we'll look at Lennar for you in a minute there. But oh, PLD, that's what I was gonna do. Yeah, because it's a low yield, and let's see, Prologis. This is Simply Safe Dividends. By the way, if you're joining us for the very first time, I sure do enjoy this, and it is different than the videos, right? Because when you watch my videos, you'll see that because I have to write a script out. If I don't, nobody, God bless Ian Lopik, but nobody wants to watch like a 45-minute rambling video where somebody keeps saying the same thing over and over. So I always script it out to make sure I'm covering exactly what I want to cover. And you'll see when you see the camera zoom in, that's my little way of, I don't know, trickery and to keep the pattern interrupt so your brain doesn't go stale. But yeah, it's makes it zoom in and zoom out and zoom in and zoom out. That's when I'm reading a new, and you don't need to know. You don't care. Nobody cares. But here we go. Prologis, undervalued, currently at $103. I think it may be going under 100. But that yield, there you go, 3.72%. Oh boy, what did I do? We teleported all the way down to the dividend growth. That was crazy. Yeah, they cut the dividend during the great financial. Yeah, you got to give a company slack for that. But check that out. When the GFC hit, 2008, 2009, that dividend still hasn't recovered to where it was when they cut. But they've been growing it for 10 years. Looks like we're due for another raise here. I don't know what it'll be. It'll probably be somewhere around 10%, I would guess. They expect a price, Simply Safe does, using their price to adjusted funds from operations, which is like the kind of the closest free cash flow metric that you get, or not earnings, but yeah, free cash flow metric for a REIT. $117 to $143. Current price is $103. And yeah, just the dividend yield is way above the 5-year average of 2.59%. So, and same thing with the forward price, the adjusted funds from operation, right? You're paying $22.50 for every $1 of adjusted funds from operation, AFFO. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's toward a 52-week low. And this is a company, AFFO payout ratio is a little bit high here. So we'd like to see that back down historically where it was. But other than that, this is one of the more stable and big REITs. And this is a company that a lot of sales growth. Yeah, and they don't dilute like crazy either, but their sales are going up a lot. So Prologis, I work at a lot of their buildings. I worked at 2 of their buildings this past week, the week that was, and they don't have a lot of net debt. So just a very strong company. And I think they should have a higher safety score than that. And then Alan, before I jump back over to the chat, let's look up Lennar for you. Home builder, right? Yeah. 60 borderline safe home builder. So we'll see. We need more homes built. A lot of investors think that this is a good place to be because, hey, we have a 2.25% mortgage rate, mortgage interest, which is super low. And there's so many people that have mortgages under 3%. And they're like, I will die with this mortgage instead of selling it. But, so we're going to people need places to live. They think if people can't get a house, then they're just going to have one built. So could spur more home building is what the thought there was from what I've read. But Lennar, let's see. Yeah, really, really rapid dividend growth. But it looks like they had it frozen there for over a year recently. But that's crazy. 66% 5-year CAGR. But yeah, it didn't grow from essentially coming out of the GFC all the way until 2019 or 2020. Oddly enough, they started raising it again. And yeah, it looks like they're due for a raise here. But looks like they're fairly valued. Dividend yield, it's pretty close. Oh, it says well above its historical norm. I don't know if 20 basis points or 23 basis points is well above. But hey, yeah, they're at a 52-week low. So there you go. So Alan, very low free cash flow payout ratio. I mean, they can easily afford that dividend. I'm just going to spin through this quick. You can pause it and read it if you want later. I'll just see if anything catches. Yeah, earnings per share. Free cash flow. Sip of tea time. There's too much jabberjawing. Hey, it's like people are like, hey, you ever listen to that Dapper Dividends guy? All he does is talk. Free cash flow per share, though, has been declining, and it's expected to keep declining. I don't know why my nose is acting up too, but hey, aren't you special and in luck? It's probably because I'm allergic to all of you people. Where's Shamir? Shamir was the one that used to joke on that. I'm sorry if I yelled and blew out your earbuds if you're listening, or AirPods. But has anyone seen or heard of Shamir? I wonder what happened. Anyway, back to Lennar. Back to Lennar. Down to slightly buyback shares. Sales have tapered off a little bit of a plateau. Good return, ROIC. Yeah, their margins are really good. Just a solid company. I know I've heard them mentioned before. This shows they have no net debt and an insane amount of interest coverage. So if you're new, the ICR number, the interest coverage ratio, this tells us how many dollars of operating income does a company have to cover every $1 of interest on the debt. Yeah, you want to see, they like to see around 8 because it gives you some wiggle room. But with this, $268.90 of operating income for every $1 of interest on the debt, which they can easily afford that. All right, and we're back. What do we got going on here with all you? Alan, all right, man. We were working buddies today. You worked 9 to 5 too. I worked from 7 to 3. How about those hours? Oh, Jim, I might join you with that when I get off of the stream. Can you split the G? Does anyone know about splitting the G? It's something I just found out about with the Guinness. It's when you pour the Guinness and then on a glass, there's the Guinness, the word Guinness, the capital G. You're supposed to take one swig, and then when you put it down, the top of it's supposed to be at the G, in the middle of the G. Yeah, working the side hustle, man. Nice. No job is no bad job. I don't think I understand that. well, it wasn't welding pizza equipment, but hey, at least yours truly, okay, when I get called out like that. And again, this is probably going back maybe like 4 or 5 years. It's not that, it's very rare that I'll work that late, but it was a door. They closed the door on a forklift or something and threw the cables. But hey, I got paid overtime, which is time and a half from the moment I leave my house until I get back. So not bad, not bad. Hello, Andrew B. What's up, man? Yeah, and we're not going to anymore. We paid it off. We sent the money in, and we should be getting the title. So let's go. Let's do it, man. Get it done. I made an executive decision, and I shared it with everybody, right? I could have just said nothing, and I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but Andrew. You're going to get more Mondelez? Why does Kevin Burgess say Mondelez? Am I missing something there? Does he do that on purpose? More Prologis and American Tower while they're on sale. I would love to that if it was just the beginning of a sale, but we don't know. Billy, good morning. Yeah, thanks a lot. We financed it because it was that, like I shared in the latest video, dude, that's what I should have done. As soon as we knew, and I yelled really loud right there, but as soon as we knew that we were going to sell those shares to buy a car, I should have just sold, put it in a SWVXX. But hey, like I said, man, I got greedy because I'm like, well, there might be, it might take us a few months. So why am I going to sell? I'll leave those shares in there to percolate in the market. So no bueno. No, I didn't, like I said, it'll be okay. But Boaz, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us. Rich was thinking I was a minivan guy. Do you remember a Ford Astro? I think it was the Ford Astro. I remember those back in the 90s. And my friend's parents had one. I didn't like it. I thought it looked like something that parents drive. So, yeah, I just said, forget this. And plus my wife, if she says minivan, she'll say minivan. She will not drive a minivan, but are something could be said that these giant SUVs are just another version of a minivan, right? All right, Jay, I'm gonna get caught up here. I'm getting behind in the chat. I apologize, but I want to share what you guys are looking at. You like NextEra Energy, Target, and PepsiCo right now? All at a good. Not a Cybertruck guy. Hey, if somebody gave me a Cybertruck, I would sell it immediately. Yeah, if you see my name, Rusty Ram 78, right? That's why I had a Ram. My name is Russ, Rusty, born in 78, and I drove a Dodge Ram for a long time. So that's what we did. John K, let me take your order. I'm gonna get caught up in the chat now. John K wants Target. Right? I feel old here. I just can't remember all these. All right. Yeah, we will look at Target, John. No worries. Give us a minute so I can get caught up here. Wait a minute. Who's hating on PPC Ian? I wasn't hating on PPC Ian. I was saying I love the guy. If you watched the video, hey, did anyone see that? I had to bring it out of I blew off the dust on that video to show when Graham Stephan congratulated me and Ian Lopik. And as you guys know, all 67 of you watching, there's an app called Cameo, and I thought it would give credibility and maybe the algorithm would see like, hey, Graham Stephan's on his channel using his name, but nobody really cared. But Ian, I reached out to Ian and he recorded that video for me, just didn't want nothing and just did it out of the goodness of his heart. So I really love Ian Lopik for that. And yeah, just a great guy. Come on. This is a good one. I'm going to look at this because we do a lot of work at FedEx Freight, oddly enough. I was at by Midway Airport here in Chicago. Here in Chicago, I was at Midway Airport working on a FedEx Freight building, and they had a dock that was broken. It was actually a simple fix. Their maintenance guy just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. He had too much deep dish pizza or something. It was all clogging up his gears. So anyway, it was a FedEx Freight. So I work at a lot of them, and yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna have to see the prospectus. Well, no, they won't put out a prospectus, right? It'll just be. I don't remember. What do they do? I can't think of it. It's not a prospectus for a spinoff, is it? I'm going to take a serious look at it because when I talk about business as I understand, I think it's 25% of FedEx's profits or revenue, I think so. Yes, PPC Ian he's the GOAT, the OG Thug Life dividend investing GOAT, man. Come on. Come on. UFPI. Let's see here. So who's this that wants to know? Eric. I don't think, have we talked about it or we said we were going to? Actually, I think I have heard of their name. So we'll look for UFPI, Eric. Once we get caught up, yeah, we'll go do news. We'll get catched up. We'll get all catched up and look at the news. Well, Rick, just see yourself out. If you can't be on time, we don't want you at all. I gotta say, I'm kidding, You never can be too sure with people these days, huh? The last Dodge Fast that he owned was a Dodge Intrepid. Nice. Well, I'm glad you totaled it, but you survived to be okay. Lyndell Bazel, we had held that. I sold it. I felt they were too dependent on a commodity that they didn't control. So the commodity dictated their business a little bit much from the way I understand it. Plus, they filed for bankruptcy in 2010 or 11, somewhere around there. Let's just say between 2006 and 2012, because I don't remember exactly, but somewhere in there they filed for bankruptcy, restructured, and this. So, Joe Genero, what's up, man? Welcome. Thank you for coming. Andrew, okay, your mind hurt? Yeah, what do you guys think about Hershey? That got whacked hard as well. That got whacked. Okay, good. I thought I was reading it. No job is a bad job. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. You know what, Frank? I don't know. I know it's an interesting name, but I don't know. I would be curious. I don't think I've ever listened to one of their earnings calls. I wonder what they say. Uh, all right, what do we got here? Sorry, the cat over there getting into something. He won't come on anymore. He did once, but so is that right, Monda Lees? Well, there you go. We've got. Oh, you know what? I think it was Aerostar, right? I don't remember, or was it Astro? I'm so confused now, man. Astro was a van on a Ranger chassis. I guess maybe. Anyway, we we don't need to talk about early '90s parents. Oh, look at my friend Jorge. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping on by, and we'll take your thought there into consideration. But we'll see. Do I have Italian in me? Not at the moment. I don't think that was supposed to sound like that. Oh, 69 people watching. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't know if I could sign him up, Mr. Louie, we call him, but he just turned 6. So, all right, we're caught up here. We'll look up Target and UFPI and then do a little bit of news too. So you can come with me. I want to do the news first. Let's see. Go. I should have had it all set up, but where did we leave off? We already saw this last week. 16th, 17th. What is that? Yeah, we saw them. Yeah, you guys saw it. We talked about MasterCard with their dividend hike. So here we go. Crown Castle is in talks. Let me make that a little bigger. Not everybody has eagle-like vision. Crown Castle is in talks to sell their fiber unit. I don't know much about this, but hey, I didn't read about it. But they are a tower telecom, right? So they downgraded their dividend safety to 40 unsafe. So if you invest in CCI, you might want to take a peek at that. And there we go about the FedEx spinning off the freight business. I'm very interested, but I'm going to want to see some other numbers. And yeah, I just really don't know much about the freight business, like profit and loss, financial statement part of it. I know the part where I'm actually boots on the ground in the buildings, doing work, seeing how busy they are firsthand. Their controlled chaos is how they move about. So they just refreshed an outlook on Simon, which, wow, that's already $171. I think I sold that, and I had 10 shares. I think I sold around the 130s. But yeah, Simon Property Group. Oh, we're already here. It's not going to be a busy week this week. Waste Management, they upgraded their dividend safety from 74 to 80. And yeah, they were buying Stericycle, right? They wanted to get into the medical waste management. Okay. And then John, here you go. Want to take a peek at Target? I know my Dividend Talk friends are buying Target. I don't know if it's one or both of them. But dividend safety score of 80 safe. 3.41%. My wife likes shopping at Target, but we do a lot of, I don't know, Costco, Aldi, Walmart. She doesn't like to go into Walmart. She likes to do the curbside pickup. But hey, just another omni-channel, right? Just another way to make money. So sometimes we do that with Target too. But yeah, Target just has that different feel and different smell too. All right, so what are we doing here? Dividend growth for Target. Sorry, guys and girls. Get the zoom finger down. 52 years, yeah, they're dividend king. But they did only raise it 1.8% in June of 24. And yeah, that last 20 years, though, 15% CAGR. So they've been raising it. There you go. About what, 4 cents a year, 2 cents a quarter for the last few years. So, hey, they might be keeping that up. So I guess I haven't looked at Target in a while. It looks like Simply Safe thinks that they could be undervalued. Expecting a share price of 140 to 171. So there you go at 138. I think I would look at them if we get down into 110, between 100 and 110 again. I mean, that's almost a no-brainer buy, I think, for Target. But yeah, that dividend yield, pretty good, good amount above its historical norm. So, and free cash flow payout ratio is not bad at all. And 23, that's right. They were negative free cash flow there. I think they had a lot of inventory issues that, hey, Walmart didn't have those inventory issues, right? So who's their CEO? Brian Cornell, is it? Maybe it's time for him to go. But let's just, yeah, free cash flow per share coming up a little bit to 985, but it might be dropping off. So I don't know. They could still see more sell off. They still buy back shares. It's a good company, but I don't know. I mean, is it really that exciting? I don't know. What do you guys think about Target? Are any of you buying it? Yeah, return on invested capital. Some of their other metrics have fallen, or margins. But anyway, let's see their debt. Paying down a little bit of debt, and their ICR is okay. So they look all right. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't excite me. I don't know why. Let me know if Target excites you, the stock, or just being in it. And then UFP Industries. Oh, look at this. Nice pick, Eric. Safety score of 97. Now that yield, yeah, it looks a little low at 1.16, but I'm not that worried if they grow that dividend pretty quick. So 10% growth. All right, what do we got here? So UFP, very fast. I like seeing that growth, man. That is nice. Although it was frozen up until 11 years ago when they started raising it pretty rapidly. I wonder why. I'm guessing their business expanded and grew. I don't know the details because I've never looked at this business, but seems they're getting ready to raise that dividend again here shortly. Looks reasonably valued. Yeah, in line. PE is a little bit high, so maybe you want to wait. But yeah, free cash flow payout ratio super low. They can easily cover the dividend, and they have plenty of room to grow it. But their free cash flow per share, man, that's fallen off a cliff right there. Well, we'd want to know why their sales growth is so negative. Economy, maybe the ripple effects, maybe it's the lag effect from all the interest rate increases that are starting to take a hold. Yeah, their sales are down. Yeah. Return on invested capital, it's coming down. Like they're everything was firing, like firing on all cylinders. Hey, come on, it's the end of the week. Yours truly, right? I went to a Harry Potter Christmas pop-up pizza place with my kids yesterday and work today. So anyway, enough on UFP Industries. Have you ever heard of it? Looks like they have no net debt and plenty of ICR, so it doesn't look like that bad of a pick. Yeah, and then can't pull the trigger on Hershey. They're getting down there, man. I'll just say what Simply Safe gives them their fair value at. Wrong one. It is at, they say 177 to 217. So there you go. Could be slightly undervalued. Craig, show enough, man. Show enough. Yeah, right? Oh, dude, I didn't even think of that. I should have just told Ian, like, hey, man, you should start charging for that. Simply Safe does the news on IIPR. I thought they had I don't know, it must be something else I read. No, the last thing was January of 23. They had downgraded them 10 points, and it says that they are mounting tenant defaults threaten IIPR's dividend. So that was January of 23, and now we had another default, which I've read this company's 40% of their, right? 40% of their revenue. Did I hear that right, or am I imagining that? Yeah, for me, Trevon, with IIPR, what so silly what I did. I had been buying it, and then, my experience with IIPR, I thought I think very well managed. They have tenant risk, and people shouldn't eat right before they go live. They have tenant risk, and I don't know how it's going to look when there's full legalization, right? Because banks will be able to make loans, and from what I understand is that IIPR gave more favorable rent uh, to, or how do you say it? I may have forgotten it. They worked out a deal with their tenants where they would pay higher rent, but I think it was cheaper for them to. I don't remember, but the charge was that they were treating themselves like a cannabis bank by effectively making, I don't know if you want to call that, backdoor loans. And the worry was is if a tenant defaulted and they had to re-rent that space out or repurpose it for something other than cannabis, that, you know, they wouldn't be able to charge, because it was like whatever, like triple or quadruple per square foot of what a normal place would be. So they wouldn't be able to charge that effectively. They would be losing on that. But uh, yeah, anyway, so I had like, I think 40, almost 50 shares. 10 of those shares I bought close to 200, like between 170 and 200, and all the rest I bought under 100. So when it shaded over 100 back in the spring, I think I sold off all the ones I made money on them, and then I figured I'd hold the last 10 with a cost basis of like 170. And in the 130s, I was like, yeah, I should sell, but I didn't because I'm not psychic, right, George? Waste Management raised the divvy 10%. Nice. I didn't see that. Yeah, and Simply Safe doesn't put everything. I think Market Beat has a really nice dividend raise, you know, where, but there's so many. Any company that pays a dividend, you know, it could be a company's first dividend and they raised it, yeah, I don't know, a quarter of a point. They'll put it in there. For us, that's just like, that's funny, Frank, because that's what I was thinking. Brian Cornell, right? What is he doing? Because again, Target is not keeping up with Walmart. Walmart doesn't seem to have the same problems that Target does, and this is going on multi years now. So hey, oh HII, yeah, good one, Steve. That's in my military history there, right? Yeah, we can peek at that. HII for Steve. All right, you guys want a few more? We can go. James wants RMD. All right, I knew I should have been a waiter, but I won't be won't be a singing waiter. My grandpa was a singing waiter in the 1933 World's Fair here in Chicago. RMD for James. I'm like Eddie Van Halen. Did you know he couldn't sing and play guitar? But let's see here. What do we got? Sorry, I got the football game on too. It's very important here, people. Give me a break. It's my Sunday night too. I'm hanging with you, but if you see my eyes steal away for a split second, can you find it in your heart of hearts to forgive me when there's an interesting play? Yes, Journeyman, we can check DG. Has anyone figured out what happened to Shamir yet? No? Come on. For Journeyman. Oh, what's up, man? I haven't seen you, man. I haven't been on X as long as we used to. Jim doesn't wear a red shirt when you go to Target. Yep. Oh my God, I'm so behind. All right, Gap. I think Gap, I heard them talked about that they were doing well. All right, let's see. Yeah, we looked at Target for some of you. I'm going to get caught up here. I'm almost there. Thoughts on FIX? Troy, I don't think we've spoken before, Troy. I don't know what FIX is, but you know what? I can do some of these rapid fire. We won't. Yeah, because we're getting. Where does the time go? I will just do the screen, the dividend card for that right at the top, because we would be. Yeah, this is in regards to my man Craig. One of his movies that he's a part of now is The Last Dragon. My brain fart there for a minute. Pfizer raised the dividend from 42 to 43. That's Michael. You know what, man? That's that's just a token increase, right? Wait, for earnings invested billion when shares were in the 30s. I have never owned Devon Energy, Matt. Campbell Soup did their first raise in 4 years. Really? I didn't know that. No kidding. Yeah, so nobody knows, huh? Nobody knows what happened to. Oh, God, Troy. Dude, what's up, man? Touchdown Cowboys. I can't, like, you know what I'm like? I'm a junkie. You got to understand. You got to understand. I'm in a super close matchup. I know someone's going to talk about it, and yeah, people will leave, but it's something near and dear to me. I have the Cowboys quarterback, and my opponent, who I'm up a lot more on now, has Mike Evans, the receiver for the Bucks. So it's a fun thing. It's one of the ways I unwind. You know, it can't be investing all the time. Maybe for Warren Buffett it can, but I don't know. You got to have some hobby. You have to have something to take your mind off of it, take your mind away from it, I think, because if you focus on one thing for way too long, I don't think it's healthy. And and I just said this earlier to you today, Harris. So yeah, I thought it's funny you're here, buddy. Thanks for getting my back and telling me not to play Caleb. Anyway, Troy, I haven't checked you out in a while. I was on your show. I'm really bad. I apologize to Ryan all the time because he'll pop into my videos and I think Ian, he has two small children. I think he's getting to be where I was when you're busy with work, being a father, running your house, kids when they start sports, and it's just you're so busy. I rarely have time to watch YouTube to just sit there and watching it, but okay. You shouldn't have told me that because now I feel like he's snubbing me. But anyway, all right, I want to look these up real quick for you guys. And I thought I saw one more in there, not Campbell's soup. Um, Jay, I don't own any Celsius because I think it's a really crowded market. Uh, I think they just were the it thing, right? From what I understand, a lot of the youngins, it was all about the Celsius. Like everybody had to be seen with a Celsius, but now I don't. I don't know, man. I call me skeptical, and I think if you don't see PepsiCo buy them, I think there's a problem because PepsiCo has a 10% stake, right, in Celsius, from what I understand, and their share price got clobbered. So I can't. I mean, it's so cheap now from where PepsiCo took that stake. If they don't buy Celsius outright and absorb the company, then you know, I don't know, or at least make a strong offer. But it doesn't bother me. It does. Oh, dude, I thought I saw grind and kids, and I thought I saw grandkids. I'm like, dude, what are you, a vampire? You look so young. All right, sorry, I'm jabberjawing now. Let's check these out for you guys. Once I share you. No, I'm not sharing you. I would never share you. All right. What am I doing? Slow it down, buddy. All right, RMD, which I don't know, is ResMed. There you go. Small dividend yield, 10% growth. Dividend safety score of 70. I lied. We'll look at their dividend growth history. 11-year growth streak. Nice. Okay, so doesn't look too bad. And there's a few more details for you. They raise it like they do. And it could be reasonably valued. So there you go. Next up, off my order sheet here, is DG, which, yeah, this is another one. Speaking of Target, like, what are they doing that's wrong? Because some of the other competitors aren't having the problems they are. Oh my God, that dividend yield is just, let's see. Let's see why it's risky. We'll spend a minute on this one here, but dividend growth, yeah, 8 years. They grow up very fast, but looks like they've stalled. It's stalled out. Oof. Yeah, this is for me like a huge red flag. When you see a dividend that grows really quickly like this, just up and up and up and up, and then you get this just flat frozen dividend bucket of yuck. If I had the mystery, I got to get a mystery yuck pop up here, but yeah, I would not. Nah, no, thank you. No bueno. Oh my God, how the mighty have fallen down to $76. Oof, oof. But let's see their dividend coverage. Yeah, look at that. Their 5-year average dividend yield is 90 basis points. It's currently 3.09%. That's yikes. Ooh, and their free cash flow payout ratio. I know it sounds crazy. Ooh, yikes. It's come down, so it should be more manageable, but yeah, their free cash flow got whacked. Hey, their free cash flow got whacked. No bueno. All right. I'm saying that too much. I'm sorry. It's the end of my night. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Total sales up and to the right. Shares outstanding. They were still buying them. Yeah, look at that. Look at the margins just falling off a cliff. Ugh, everything's falling down. Nah, I wouldn't touch it. Their debt paying back a little bit. I wouldn't touch DG, Dollar General, and then FIX. I don't think I've met FIX yet. Comfort Systems. Wow, that's a new one. So dividend safety score of 80, safe. Now you see this, it's $438 a share. I'm guessing that there's probably like 20, 30 million shares outstanding. Started 1917. Hey, yeah. Dividend growth has been super quick as of late. 11 years dividend growth. All right, let's go through as fast. They think it's pretty overvalued. I wonder why it's so overvalued. That's an interesting one, man. I never heard of it. Oh, stupidly low free cash flow payout ratio. They can easily pay it and raise it for a long time. $20 of free cash flow per share. And let me see if I was right on the shares outstanding. Survey says, oh, what did I say? 20 to 30 million, right? How about that? Anyway, what does that mean? Oh, total sale. Very strong company. Very, very strong company from the numbers I see. Yeah, sky high return on invest. Their margins are just out of this world. Debt is pretty much non-existent. This is a very, very strong company and one that I would need to look deeper into. They install, renovate, maintain, and repair heating, HVAC systems, plumbing, and electrical systems. Yeah, this is one that's pretty interesting. So good pick, man. FIX. I'm gonna have to peep into that one a little bit more. So nice one there. Of course, I didn't write your name down. Come on, who said fix? I don't see it. When is the I think the next live stream my wife will be joining us. I would buy into PepsiCo again, Sam, and shout out. Shout out down there in Australia. I was just listening to The Living End. Have you ever heard The Living End? They had a minor hit called Prisoner of Society in circa 1990. I don't know. I'm losing it. My accent, it's breaking down. I'm losing it. 1999 or 2000 or so. Living End, one of my favorite bands. I love them, and I've not seen them in a long time. I don't know what we were talking about. But yeah, I would buy PepsiCo again for sure if it was cheap enough, because it's a great company, but I just think it's so big and so blue. It's Troy. Oh, you did. It's solid, man. I love it. Why shoot you? Come on, Steve. It wasn't that bad. Whatever. Whatevs. But no, I lost it. I don't know. Oh, we didn't look at HII, did we? For Steve. All right, Steve, we'll do it for you. We'll stay on for an extra minute. We'll look up HII. And again, that's one that's tied into the Navy, right? They build subs and stuff like that. Am I sharing? I think I'm sharing. Yeah. So here we go. HII. Huntington Ingalls. This is one that was on a watch list before. Yeah, 68 safe, $190 a share. Looks like it's reasonably valued. All right. And they, founded in 1886. How about that? Yeah, so let me so I'm not wrong here. design and construct non-nuclear ships, amphibious assault ships, expeditionary warfare ships, surface combatants. Nice. Yeah, and where's that word? It also provides nuclear powered ships such as aircraft carriers and submarines. I wonder, that's something. I wonder if I could look up who built the Stennis. Because it was built, I got on the tail end of its. It was commissioned, and then we were doing sea trials when I got on it in January of '97. So dividend growth very fast. Look at that. That's nice. You want to see that, but it was actually pretty dead there. They cut it in 2000, so that's something that the history is not terribly long, but you got 11 years. Looks reasonably valued, so there you go. And it's also close to a 52-week low. Yeah, this is a solid one. I don't know. I guess, I mean, I don't know how Trump being in is going to affect it, if that's going to change things. Oh, I don't like this. Free cash flow payout ratio, 112%. Even though it's coming down, yeah, that hopefully that's just an aberration, but yeah, a little spotty there. I'd like to see a little bit more up and to the right, like Visa, like free cash flow per share. It looks like it's very cyclical. Sales growth is cyclical. Yeah, they buy back shares, although they've kind of slowed that down. You know, it's good, but honestly, Steve, net debt 40, low net debt. It's just okay. I guess these would be one of those ones that would go into the bucket of if it just completely was so stupidly cheap you can't just ignore it. Norfolk News. Yeah, I was gonna say it was in over there in Hampton Roads in Newport News, not Norfolk News. It was Newport News, my friend. All right, Jacob, you have a good week too, man. But there, we got to use Steve. You know, I like it. I like the company, but I guess I wouldn't own it. And just to finish that thought up on PepsiCo, if it starts getting down into the 130s, I think that would be an easy, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be back up to the 160s and 70s eventually. So that would be a get paid to wait type of scenario, I think. So, you know. Andrew Senior TV. I have no idea what GVA infrastructure. I assume that's wait, GVA infrastructure instrument, is that? I'll see if it comes up really quick. I won't bring you guys along, but it's not coming up. I don't know, man. I've never even heard of that, so I have no opinion, no knowledge whatsoever, and I don't know if anyone else does, but it could, man. It really could. And we'll finish up this. That's a great point, because like we keep saying, the market just hates uncertainty, whether it's the entire market or an individual company, like I showed with PepsiCo and J&J. That uncertainty, the market doesn't like it, and it just, people sell off first and then figure things out and digest it, and we'll slowly start coming back if they do. But I don't know. That's the thing, man. It's just a big unknown, and I really don't know, man. And it did affect one of the reasons that I ended up selling it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's we're gonna see. It's to be determined, to be seen. But I think if you hold again for many, many, many years, it's gonna be okay. But, and that's a good point, Bern. Yeah, if we see PepsiCo in the 120s and 130s, it's just going to be at a point where you're like, what would the dividend yield be there? Would it be like, I hate saying like too much. When you talk a lot, you'll start to notice and pick up on things like saying like. But Pep's dividend yield is, 3.5%. So if it dropped another $20, we'd be pushing 4.5% or something. I mean, that would be crazy. And, that's one of the benefits of dividend investing, is that, whatever that was, the demon's trying to get out. Anyway, I just thought of Men in Black, right? With the skin suit guy. But, to hell with that. I can't think of what I was gonna say. I don't know. Ah, well, just no, it's gone. It was like coming back. It was coming back. No, it's gone. I don't remember what I was gonna say, guys. But yeah, BXSL Bernard, bring it up next week. Yeah, I'll look it up for you, man. You know what? Let's look up BXSL. I'll look it up for you. Let's do it. Let's do BXSL. It sounds familiar. Ah, I think we talked about this. The Blackstone Secured Lending Fund. Is this like a closed-end fund? I don't. Yeah, I've never looked at it. It looks like it might because of the super high yield. They show it could be reasonably valued toward the higher end. It is an externally managed BDC. Okay, so it's a BDC. It's not a closed-end fund. An externally managed. I think Ares Capital, which I invest in, is externally managed. They are, because Ares Capital, right? No, Ares Management. How is that? ARES. I think ARES manages Ares Capital, ARCC, if I have that right, I think. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, Bernard, but they give it a dividend safety score of 50, borderline safe. Looks like it's kind of slowly growing, that dividend. It's frozen. You know, I don't know. Oh, we didn't even talk about TSLQ, the 2 little shares I bought of the 2x Tesla leveraged the bear. So anyway, I bought it for fun. It's supposed to. You know what, Bernard? I don't know enough about this, but you can just take from what you will. Earnings payout ratio, which you look at for a BDC, that's below 95%. They show, but I don't know. I guess it just looks all right. But hey, a lot of BDCs they give a 50, so borderline safe score. Debt. I don't know enough about it, man. But take from it what you will. 50 borderline safe from Simply Safe. Michael Anthony. Let's see. You said Pepsi may have hit the low for this year, but what will 2025 hold? Yeah, nobody knows, but I don't know, man. You'd never want to bet against the American eater, right? Because you just don't. Just don't do it. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, dude, I can't do the math that quick. So, okay, it would be maybe 4% then, right? But yeah, it would. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Good. I'm glad you did that. Shannon, you'll get to hear me give you the last thought. The cool thing about dividend stocks is that, especially when they're good companies, the lower that the share price falls, the higher the dividend yield goes. So you'll get some really good companies, and as long as they're still fundamentally sound, I mean, if PepsiCo is ever yielding 5%, that's crazy. People are going to just start buying it up, and it'll hit that floor, and it's kind of like gives it a nice little floor there. So that was my final thought there. I guess that's it. But yeah, I thank you. I thank you all for swinging on by the channel, and I'm gonna play some Pee Wee because I'm a kid of the '80s, and I really do appreciate you guys. And also Andrew, stop by next time, and I'll look up. We'll look up GVA. So, and hold on, damn it, I clicked off my. Here we go. Now we got it. But first, I want to tell you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yeah, all of that. I love it. Idiocracy. If you haven't seen Idiocracy, go watch it. So anyway, now I'm going to go. And I will see you guys. Dude, my wife will be with us next weekend. So, or the last live stream of the year. I'll bring the wife on, and we'll just have a fun show. Talk about whatever you want to talk about that's not sexual or something like that. It's because, I don't know. That would be weird. So, all right. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.